All right, we are back. Real quick, Soup. This is the HR Perspective Talk Show. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until today is Thursday, January 15, 2014, about 8:20 p.m. And want to welcome our special guest in the studio tonight. They represent Netwave Unlimited Services, LLC, a local fiber optics training company, and many other consulting services, I guess. Welcome to our studio.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Good night to all of our internet watchers, viewers, I should say.
Yep.
Viewers, watchers, yeah. As long as they're looking at the screen and they can see you. So welcome, and we wanted to get you on here to talk about what you guys are doing for the community, and just some general technology talk. We only had one tech guy on here so far, Ruben Malloy. He actually graduated with us in '82 as well. So he's the big man at BIT. Hopefully, still. I haven't talked to him in a while, but we did talk about a bunch of IT-related things. But so just tell us what's happening in the community with your company, and how it all got started, and we'll just kind of roll with it from there.
What made you guys went into doing this services, providing these services here for the VI?
Well, it was important that we as Virgin Islanders came out with something more than just keep outsourcing the jobs. So we actually founded Netwave Unlimited Services LLC because there was a need. There was a need for our community to actually get ahead and also to improve their own lives. Right now we're losing jobs, but we have a big infrastructure that's fiber optic. And unfortunately, for whatever the reason, we've been neglecting the training. So we decided to come up with a company and actually offer the services and also build a workforce. So we started training for fiber optic. And right now, 10 of our graduates have found employment on St. Croix in the fiber optic field.
Nice.
Okay.
Wonderful. How big are your classes? Like how many students are on average comes in?
We like to keep it not too big, so we take minimum of 15, maximum of 18.
How long do a class session last for? 6 months, 5 months? How long?
80 hours.
80 hours?
80 hours.
Oh, the class is 80 hours?
80 hours.
Okay.
It's a commitment. What we try to do is do it in the afternoon, 4 hours per day,
right.
Monday through Friday, to give the student a chance to, work in the day and also study, because there is a lot of studying.
Okay.
So it's about a month, 4 weeks.
Okay. So do they get the actual certifications, legally certified, and they could go out now and train, work for whoever?
They're globally certified under the Fiber Optics International. And yes, they do get a certification. We do a little graduation ceremony.
Okay.
Too. We've been on the paper. We've been covered on TV also. And with that certification, they can go and look for jobs, not only here in the territory, but also in the United States and in other parts of the world.
Wow.
Fiber optics is very big. There is a big need for technicians, not only here, but also in the States, in Europe. South America is a new market. So.
Okay. Now, one of the things that you often mention to me, I guess, and I guess probably everybody else too, is that in addition, we know fiber as in telecommunications, but fiber optics does many other applications. Can you talk a little bit about that as well?
Yes, of course. And I'm going to let our master instructor talk a little bit about what fiber optics is.
Before you even do that, Louis, do the company come down and train you guys how to do this, or you already had the training already?
Well, I have a telecommunication background, and I took my course a few years back, and more or less when we hooked up with this company, with the Fiber Optic International, and we were in talks with them, we had to design the course. I basically designed the course. At that time, I was under a master trainer in Florida,
right,
which is also under the same organization, like an apprenticeship,
right,
kind of. The course was designed, was forwarded to them, and it was a little back and forth, but it was approved. It took a little bit because, I guess we'll talk more about the Elstic show go along, but the course actually has 3 courses in one. And we cover a variety of different stuff. And currently, even though I'm the master trainer here for the Caribbean, I still have to do update training.
Upgrades,
yes,
right.
And at least once a week, I call the organization, or the president will call me, and we will talk. So this is an organization that is not just throwing out certificates or training. It wants to make sure that from the instructor come down is fully trained and getting the update information that is right now.
Okay. So you said it's 80 hours, about a month long.
Yes. I don't like to train more than 4 hours a day. It's a lot of I don't want to scare the people, but it's a lot of information, and you need that time to go home and study.
Right.
Typically, this training, if you look it up online, it's a 3-day course. But 3-day course for somebody that has some type of knowledge in telecommunications. Right. A person that just don't know anything and comes in to the training, it's going to have a hard time. So that was the purpose why the course was designed to 80 hours, to cover the termination aspect,
right,
the network design, and the splicing, the fusion splicing, and the mechanical.
Okay.
So like I said, it's 3 courses in one. That's why it had to be that long. And in the course too, we offer customer service, real scenarios where I bring in a couple of ladies and they do a little interacting with the technician. We do like a little role play, just so they can kind of feel at what it will take to go to somebody's house or business, get that frustration. It's better to have it during class than to have it out in the customer workplace or residence.
How do you get the students to qualify for your courses?
Last year, I'll let Ms. Foster answer that.
Well, we've been very fortunate. We were providers for the Department of Labor. They do have their own requirements, and we were able to train some of the people from Department of Labor. We also take in private students. Our requirements are older of 18 years, I should say 18 years old or older, high school diploma or equivalent.
Okay.
Because the target is that they get a job.
Right.
And of course, being a resident of the island and having a high school level reading and math skills.
Okay.
And I must apologize. It is kind of nerve-wracking to be
it's okay. It's all right
on TV, even though, it's a closed setting. It is nerve-wracking. I guess we are a little bit, but I think as the time goes by, I hope that
before
we can control it better.
Yeah, before it'd be 11:30. You wouldn't even felt anything,
So I do apologize for our viewers. It's kind of a little bit nerve-wracking because it's a little bit intimidating. But we're trying to give you the information that...
Are there any technical prerequisites for a student? Do they have to have any kind of basic computing or any kind of that stuff?
No, see, this training, and I must say, yes, Mr. Torres designed the training because there was a need in the VI.
Right.
Especially to train fusion splicers. Because, like he said, these trainings in the States are offered separate. And basically, you got to go through termination, which is connecting the cable, the connector into the cable. So you can plug in that cable into your computers or boxes.
Right.
And that's about 3 days. Get certified in that, but guess what? You can only do that. Right now in the territory, what they're doing is fusion splicing. So the other training is the fusion splice, but in order to get that training, you have to have work and have a log and, other requirements to go into that training. So it was very conflicted to even send our own people to the States to get the training because basically they were not getting a good training. So he did design this program, instead, we call it program instead of training, and he did send the manual to the president of the Association for Fiber Optics International, and in conjunction with our other master trainer from Florida, this whole program was set up, and the FOI, which is the Fiber Optic International, gave us the okay and the go ahead, and we started training. So we basically tailor the program to the needs of the VI. And it got to a point that, like I said, 10 of our graduates have found employment on Suncor. They haven't gone away. They found the employment on Suncor. But I do have to say, it is a commitment. Yes. You have to make that investment on yourself. If you don't invest on yourself, you're still going to wait for, the jobs to come, and they might not even come in the field that you want them to come. So you do have to look for other opportunities.
Okay.
It is best if you have a background in, let's say, electricity or IT, computer systems. Yes, it is better. Is it necessary? No, because the training was tailored for people who don't have either the background or the experience. And I have 10 people that can testify to being able to find a job.
Okay. Okay. So in general, I mean, is fiber optics readily available everywhere? I mean,
well, the whole world is moving towards fiber optics.
Well, and even before you go to that, Anna, people might not even know what fiber optics is. Can you explain to them what that is?
Of course. And I'm going to let Mr. Torres.
Right? Yes. Yes. Yes.
To our viewers.
Okay, let me explain it very simple. We know right now what's being used in for the telecommunications is copper. Everybody have seen the copper line.
Right.
So instead of copper lines, they're using fiber optics line, which is made out of glass. I have here something that's being, presently this is a cable. This is the cable that's being right now used in here in the territory.
Right.
And this is the fiber right here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is the fiber right here. And this is a outside plant, single mode, 144 count cable, fiber.
Right.
And this is what's being used right now. So when I know the question pop up, oh, glass. Okay. That's new. But the beauty of the fiber is that it takes more, you can take more data, more bandwidth. At longer distance than copper. Okay. Instead of, for example, I know here in the territory we have right now for the fiber optic we have one amplifier in the west side, and then the other one is in St. Thomas. With the fiber optics you can go very far without having to use an amplifier.
Right.
Okay. And it has its advantages. For example, it's immune to electromagnetic interference. You can basically sometimes this fiber in utility companies they put their regular electrical conductors, and it has a fiber line inside of it. It will have no problem whatsoever. It has its advantages. Of course, a little expensive, but at the long run, it will come out better.
Right.
Okay. So I hope I was very
yes.
Didn't confuse anybody.
No. But let's go back to the program you put together. So I know nothing about fiber optics. You're just basically starting from square zero and just working your way through what it is, how it works, and then splicing and all that other stuff.
Right. Well, like I said, the program has 3 courses in one. And the reason it was designed that way, it was because to be able to, in a nutshell, to be able to give my local people a fighting chance.
Right.
Because if you just do the course in termination alone, well, okay, they got certified in termination alone, which is like Ms. Foster said, installing or terminating the connector at the end of the fiber.
Right.
more. This is what we're mostly talking about.
Okay.
This is when you do termination, you will learn how to install these connectors to the line.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll learn how to do termination, but then what happens when you come to a situation that you have to splice? Oh well, you're not trained, you're not certified, you can't do it. Somebody else has
Have to come
and
behind
do it.
you, right?
So
right.
chances are they probably will not have anybody here in the island, and they have to bring somebody from away
Okay.
to do the job. So that's one of the reason that we do termination, we did network design, and we did fusion splice to be able to have a technician, well-rounded. And it's a very in-depth course. It's a very in-depth course where it challenges the students on a daily basis. I mean, I haven't had nobody quit yet, but the challenge is there.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right. We are back. We had a minor technical faux pas there, but we're good to go, man. We're back. Sorry for the interruption there. But Luis was talking about the program and the three components of it.
Right.
Yeah. And the other component you haven't said much about too is the network design part of it.
Right. The network design, which is basically, for example, a business approaches you, says, okay, I need this. I need a system. Well, you will go in. You will see how many offices or what are the needs, and then you will design a system based on what the customer needs are. And that's like the very first thing that you do before you do an installation. Based on that is whether or not that after your initial in assessment in network design is going to determine whether or not the system is going to work properly or not. So of course, that's a course that is offered separate in the States. The fusion splice and the termination, and as you can see, 80 hours when you start talking and getting into depth.
Right.
80 hours sometimes for me is not enough time.
Right.
Okay.
But it's been working out so far, so we've been getting good results with that.
Okay. So you're having like full classes of 15, 18 people every time, pretty much?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How many sessions you had so far?
We've had 3 classes so far.
Three classes.
Okay, and how soon you're looking to start the next one now?
Well, we are looking into starting a new class in March.
In March.
Okay. You guys are rolling, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are rolling, man. With
Well, there is the need, The need is there.
Okay.
Again, it's about us committing to something new and trying it.
Okay.
Taking that leap of faith.
Right. You guys still holding the class in the cardiac center?
Yes,
Yes,
for right
we
now.
are.
For right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So did you cover all 3? You did some.
Well, I brought some stuff, just short equipment to show you guys. This one right here is called the optical time domain reflectometer. I know, big name, OTDR for short. But what this equipment does, and we covered this in class, it does 3 things. It measures the fiber cable. It tells you the splice loss, and it pinpoints if there is any breakage or faults in the line.
Okay.
It carries you to that point where the problem is. Of course, if you pick it up off the street or you buy it and you need training to be able
To operate that, right?
You
Okay.
need training.
So
So you won't be able to read it properly.
Each individual that comes out of the class when they finish will be able to operate that machine?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
This other machine right here, these two go together, and this one is the light source,
Okay.
okay, and this one is the power meter. What this does is after the technician installs the line, he brings this machine, and based on the sheet that the technician did in network design, he or she will figure out if that line is going to work based on the loss.
Right.
Of course, if you have you have more loss on the line, then the system is not going to receive the bandwidth or the enough data that you need to be able to properly work. So that equipment is very important. Another one here, it's the VFL, Visual Fault Locator. It's another laser that helps the technician find a breakage or anything, breakage or leaks of light in the line itself. So go ahead.
I was going to ask you, so do your students get all that equipment as a graduating gift when they
You took it right out of my mouth.
Oh my goodness!
You took it right out of my
I
mouth.
said, sign me up, man.
Oh my goodness! No.
Yeah, I'm sure that stuff's very expensive.
Oh man, it is, and we don't normally the students when they almost finishing the class, the first thing they ask me, "Oh, where I can purchase that equipment?" I always advise them, don't purchase it. I'm gonna tell you why. Not even from the scissors that you use to the Kevlar scissors that you use to cut the cable. Why? Because every company has its own tools.
Okay.
And that's based on the liability factor.
Right.
Liability is very important. And that's one of the main things we always emphasize in the class. Liability, liability, liability. You save the company, you save the company, and you save the customer. Both parties will be happy.
Right.
Okay.
But because every company will buy their own equipment that they want. So if a company buys a particular brand, guess what? If anything goes wrong, that company is responsible because that's the brand that they choose.
Yes.
So if an employee goes outside and buys something that they saw on sale and they use it, then the liability falls on the employee.
On the individual, right?
Yeah.
Right.
The individual.
Okay.
So and on top of that, like I said, it's expensive and they don't need to go into that. All they need to do is continue their education,
Right.
so they can be able to get a good job as a fiber tech. And you know, right now in the States, I have a couple companies that I'm linked to them to link it, and they are offering what's it called, signing bonus, 1,500, 2,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a fiber techs are in great demand.
And great demand right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the more that we connect to fiber, the more the need that we're going to have.
Okay. So, I mean, are we getting connected here? I mean, just the whole...
Well, you've seen them out there working. Yes, we are getting connected. The infrastructure is there. We have some underground, some aerial. There's going to be a need for maintenance, not just the laying down the fiber, but maintenance, repair. We do have hurricanes. We have some of the fiber is aerial. So if we have hurricanes, then the fiber is aerial, meaning it's on the poles. You know what's going to happen.
Yes.
Hopefully we won't have a hurricane. But at the same time, we need to be prepared, because if we're not prepared for the jobs when they come, and I'm sure that when they come, they're going to come hard.
Right.
If we are not prepared, those jobs are going to just go away to somebody else.
Okay.
So what kind of company your graduates could work for after they finish?
Well, right now they are working for some of the telecommunications companies.
Okay, like
here
Choice,
on island.
Innovative.
Sorry, I cannot mention names, but I can say they are working as fiber optic technicians.
Okay.
And basically, I know also that they were hired because they had that fiber training.
Yes.
We were very fortunate that one of the telecommunication companies came to our class and saw our training, and they really fell in love with it. They were very impressed when they saw our training, and they actually took 3 of our graduates to work with them, and one of them a female, I must say.
Okay.
Very, very proud of all of them.
Yes.
Very proud of all of them.
So hasn't any one of those companies bring their technician into your to train them now to get some updates?
Yes, actually, yes. We have trained a project manager that was actually doing the laying down of the fiber, and a network engineer that was also working with another one of the telecommunication companies.
Okay.
Definitely, yes.
Nice.
Do you think at some point, I mean, what do fiber optic technicians make? I mean, some salary range, just out of school or maybe with a few years experience.
Well, I think you just said the magic word there. With a few years experience, um, we always tell our graduates that they have to be patient. Once you get a job, you're going in as an entry level.
Yes.
Because if especially if they don't have anything in their background, if they don't have, for example, IT or electrical or something else to justify the reason why they should
Right.
go into a different category, they're going to win at the entry level. And from the beginning, we start talking that so they can start preparing them mentally about that. And sometimes some people hear of fiber tech, okay, yeah, $25, $30, $35. Okay, fine. Yeah, but that's with experience.
Okay.
But I think generally companies, what I've seen, they're starting out between $13 to $15 an hour. That's what I've seen entry level.
Right.
Especially the companies that I've been seeing in the internet for the state sites.
State sites, we're talking. But there's a lot of websites, a lot of search engines that you can actually do, and but they're not that. I mean, that our technicians, I should say, technicians don't get paid the minimum wage.
Okay.
Oh, no,
Okay, that's for sure.
Let me ask you something, Luis. Do you work outside of the training? Do you do your own fiber optics installation too?
Yes. Besides training, we do installation, testing, troubleshooting.
Okay.
I also do residential, not really with fiber optics, but with the copper lines.
Right.
So we do a little bit of everything. Yes.
Okay.
But right now we've been focused on the training because we've been, creating the workforce
Right.
for these upcoming jobs.
Okay. So just you two do the training. You don't got nobody else working with you all?
No.
I actually don't.
No, I've been blessed with a coworker of mine that he took the training and he's been assisting me for the past 2 classes. So he's been a blessing, and he is presently going to be taking the instructor course that I'm going to be giving in the next few weeks.
Okay.
Because I need instructors. I can't do everything myself.
Yes.
Because we're growing, and I won't be able to be in 2 places at the same time.
That's right.
So I'm duplicating myself.
Okay. Well, good, man. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back in just a few minutes. Stand by. This is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until tonight. Our guest in the studio is Anna Foster and Luis Torres. They're with Netwave Unlimited Services, LLC. It's a fiber optics training company. And as we were just taking a break there, Anna, you said you wanted to talk a little bit about the
Customer service.
The customer service
components of it.
Our graduates, we insist in raising the standards, first of all. So one of the things that we tell them is the class starts at 5:30.
Right.
That means if you're there at 5:15, you're probably already late. Because Mr. Torres makes it a point to start sharp at 5:30. And the first day, they're kind of like testing. The second day they get there maybe a little bit late just to make sure that, maybe he's not starting at 5:30. And by the time they get there, because Mr. Torres starts with a review, they pretty much lost all that.
Yeah.
So on the third day, they're all there, believe me. Some of them start getting there at 4:30. And they spend that time studying and reviewing their manual because he goes in and starts a review. And he will, pick on the students to answer. And there's that pressure that, they need to know.
Right.
They need to know what they're going to be answering. So that's, the little things that we insist on. Time, punctuality, very important when you're dealing with the customer.
Right.
We need to really raise our standards because if you tell a customer, I'm going to be there at 3, that customer has to, sometimes they have children.
Yes.
Sometimes they have a job. They're going to lose an hour or 2 hours of pay because they are going to be in their house at 3 o'clock waiting for you.
Right.
Now, you don't show up at 3 o'clock. You decide to show up at 5 or at 6. How do you think that person is going to be?
Pissed.
They're going to be very upset because they're just lost 2-3 hours of pay.
Work, yes.
And we need to be a little bit more considerate of that and understand that, people's time is very important. We cannot waste it.
How are the students dealing with that? Do they know up front that they're getting this part in the class, or is this something that you guys?
No, it's in the syllabus.
Okay.
It's in the syllabus, and on the first day, they are given the rules, because there's also some rules.
Right. Do's
Since
and
we're
don'ts.
using the cardiac center, there's rules that they have, and rules on how to handle the fiber, and they go through that, and they are told the class starts at 5:30.
And they were also, before we started, you were talking about Louis, how you brings in some of your associate to act out some scenarios. How is that taking part in the class?
That works really well, because it had, like, for example, this last class, it got, with 3 of my students, it got really intense, because
Intense in a role play?
yeah, intense in a role play,
Okay.
because they this time it was the company you were going to was a company that was dealing in stocks, and we all know if a company is down for 1 minute, you're talking about thousands, you're probably talking about millions.
Millions.
So-
Super life savings.
Yeah. So that was a scenario, and the pressure was on them. And why is not my system on? We had the manager come, and it got really. Of course, my assistant, which I see is a blessing in this guy, because he has helped me so much.
Right.
We expect. That's what we want. We want to get a rise out of the person.
Yes.
Because it's better to deal with it in the classroom setting than deal with it outside.
Go outside. That's
So,
right.
but at the end, and after the graduate, the technician fulfills that,
Uh-huh.
and he goes outside and he reflects. He can really see, where he went wrong, what he should have said, why he shouldn't have said, what he should have done. Because everything, what you say, what you do, you pay the price there.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
But we don't do it as much as I would want to, because of time.
Right.
But it's something that I have put in the class, and it has worked very, very well. For example, any of my graduates, or any of the graduates from Netwave, they retain that material, that knowledge is there. You ask them what is a multimode, what is the core size, what is the wavelength of this. They will just shoot it out like that. Because that's how intense we go. I'm always continuous drilling, and on top of them, they don't get a break. If they're in a break outside, and I happen to pass, and they talk to me about something that is not about fiber, guess what? We will make that conversation fiber. So they know that if I'm passing them in their break, they don't talk to me.
you.
So you're like a very interactive teacher. I mean, from the time you get there, it's
Yes.
just challenging them as you go.
Yes, David, I'm born and raised here. I see where our people are going to the difficulties.
Yes.
I see where, our locals are at the disadvantage, and that's a driving force behind me personally. I take a passionate interest in my students, not just completing a course, but learning. So when they sit down in that company to interview or whatever, they have that fighting chance of getting that job.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm really devoted to that.
The customer service is critical here.
Oh, yeah.
Because at times
Oh, yeah.
it's very
a
lacking.
heart. It's the heart of a business.
Yeah, it's very lacking. And
Very lacking.
if you just get there on time and say hello and be courteous, I mean, that just goes a long way. I mean, it just goes a long way. You might even get a customer writing in one of those courtesy cards saying that Technician A did a wonderful job. He was on time, and I'm happy with the service.
Exactly.
That's the idea. If our customers are not happy with the service, they're not gonna be our customers, and
Yeah.
we're gonna lose the business.
Okay.
So we really need, as a community, we need to raise our standards and understand that perhaps that's why businesses are closing.
Yeah.
because they don't have any
Customer
customers.
Service.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just made a comment right now. I'm not going to mention the company. You don't really want to deal with that company because of their customer service.
Yes.
And unfortunately, if let's say 3,000 people say that about that company, what do you think is going to happen? That company is no longer going to be in business.
Yeah.
So that means that person that was giving you the horrible customer service will no longer have a job.
Yes.
And right now, jobs are very scarce
That's
in
right.
in the territory, not only
Worldwide.
on St. Croix.
That's
Worldwide.
We were in St. Thomas last weekend, and for the first time, I saw stores closed. So I know
In
it's
St.
not
Thomas?
only in St. Thomas.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. We were very surprised. Never seen that before. Restaurants closed. So we're looking at a big picture. We, are in trouble.
Yeah.
Now you talk about St. Thomas. Do you have a training course over there, or you plan to go over there to do some?
Yes, that's. I didn't want to say it, but that's where we plan to go in March.
Oh,
I didn't want to say that we were going to leave St.
So now I will have to
but we're
fly
not
over there to
leaving
take this
St.
class.
Croix. We are not leaving St. Croix. We're just, last year we concentrated on St. Croix. So this year we also need to concentrate on St. Thomas.
share the wealth. Right.
There is a need in St. Thomas for technicians.
Right.
Okay.
Not just St. I also wanted to say, even though, yes, it gets intense, like Mr. Torres says, our students are, I think, very pleased after the training. We have on our first class, there was a little experience that we have that really touched our hearts. I know it touched Mr. Torres' heart. We had this student that came to him, and actually I want him to tell you the story because he can tell it much better than me.
Well, it was in a bucket truck because we always take a day out to do bucket truck training.
Okay.
So we do. I forgot to mention that customer service bucket truck. Because it will have times that the technicians are gonna have to go in the bucket truck
And go up to the
bring
line.
down so they
Yes.
can work on it. But that's a one day. It's not really a certifying course, just to get them a feel for it.
Right.
But anyway, we had the class outside, and he went, and they only had about 2 people that needed to go. So we were there in a little group, and we were just talking. Of course, we're talking about fiber because if I'm in the conversation, we're talking about fiber. But to tell a little bit about this student, he was one of those that will come in very quiet, don't participate a lot, and very to himself. So brought him out because when you come to my class and you try to sit in the back, guess what? You might probably be getting picked on more because you sat in the back. So it's everybody have to participate in the class. So it was about the 3rd day of class or something, 3rd week, and we're talking, and it got a little silent, and all of a sudden he was saying that he really appreciates. He never had an instructor like me, and I'm like, come on, man, stop kissing. I said, come on. But no, he got us serious, and he said, I've never had an instructor like you. My next question was, why? I mean, what makes it so different? He said, because you care. You care for me to learn this. You're on top of me. Most of my instructors or teachers that I've had, they say, and they come in the class and they say, well, whether you guys learn or not, I'm still getting paid. So I don't care.
Yeah.
So, I kind of like hold the tears a little bit. I mean, it kind of,
Touch you.
Yeah.
Yes,
because,
sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm just passionate like that from my first class, second class, third class, because of that I have with my people.
Right.
And I really want my local, and I keep saying because I'm born and raised here.
Yes, I.
I want my people to excel. I don't want my people just to get jobs here too. I want people to be able to go to the States, go wherever, and compete with these people out there. So, that's why the passion behind that training is there.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: do you after the class has graduated and go out in the field and start working? Do you have extra what
update training?
Update training.
Yes. Yeah, they have to because the certification is only for 2 years.
Okay.
And during that time, I encourage them to. There's different companies out there that give seminars.
Okay.
And I encourage them to take those seminars.
All right.
Right now, the organization I'm with right now, we're in the process of doing other courses,
Okay.
which we're going to be offering it to them as members. But once the 2 years hit, they will have to come back to us and take a little refresher course and a little certification. Not as hard as the beginning.
The first one.
The first test was like about 170 something questions.
What?
And let me just talk to you a little bit about that. I know you guys said what, but listen to this. You know, a lot of tests out there right now are just multiple choice or a little true and false, right? No, not this test. This test has about 20 true and false, about 15 or 18 multiple choice. The rest is fill in the blank.
Okay, so you have to handwrite in your answer.
So you have to know your stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is no mini, mo. No. You have to know your stuff.
Okay.
And that was something that the president of the organization was like, whoa, this is something we don't really do this. I said, I understand, but I want to do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Right.
He said, you know what, you're going to fall yourself, look yourself in problems because you might not have people passing the test. I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to make sure that they have the necessary knowledge to take that test and pass it.
Right.
So, of course, everybody was scared, just like you guys.
Right.
But they passed. And on top of that, my the score to the cut score is not 70 or 75. It's 80.
Yeah.
And above.
Because
Exactly.
we need to raise the standards.
Yes,
It's not because we wanted it, It's because there is the need.
Yeah.
No point in having a test with 70 questions, or an open book test because you're not gonna learn anything.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, if I can have a test and read the answers, well, then I don't need the test.
Exactly.
Basically,
Exactly.
And another thing that we also do in the training is there is a lot of hands-on.
Okay.
A lot of hands-on, and we have been very fortunate to have plenty of equipment that we need.
Okay.
So we do have the fusion splicers, and I do say splicers, not just
Not one, right?
And so one day, we also encourage visitors to come in the class, especially our high-ranking officials and people from labor.
Right.
And they have visit our classes, and one of those visits, one of them, because I had, everybody was working on something, and I also had the people doing the fusion splice, and these are very delicate and of course very expensive equipment.
Their precision.
And their precision, their precision equipment, and they were there by themselves, doing their fusion, because the whole point is for you to practice,
Right.
until you understand. If you're doing it wrong, you will understand. It's not about us telling you what you're doing wrong. It's about you thinking, because that's part of troubleshooting. Those analytical skills that are so needed also. But they did tell me, aren't you afraid that they're going to break the equipment? And I look at them and I said, am I afraid that they break the equipment? I would be afraid if I knew they were not getting the correct training.
Okay.
But I'm not afraid because I know they know what they're doing, because Mr. Torres has trained them.
Let's train him, hands-on,
And definitely, a lot of hands-on. The network design, I think, for a lot of our students, and I have to tell you that so far, yes, our students are there on time. We had one of them miss one day because she was sick. And I say she because this training is also for women.
Yes.
And my goodness, she was so upset because they know if they miss one day, they're going to miss a whole bunch. So, and for us, it's not possible to go back because, you have to
After that intense,
forward.
the intense.
And she was very upset that she had missed that day because she was sick, but she really couldn't make it. I mean, and I think you really don't want to have everybody else getting sick,
right,
too. Right. But she was also one of our top students. I must say, our females have been very top students, and I'm very proud of that. And for the people that are listening to us, this training is also for women. there is a lot of hands-on. There is a lot of studying that you have to do. You, with our organization, the FY, you have to pass a written test, but you also have to pass a performance test.
Okay. Okay.
So I mean, the stress is on both sides.
Both sides, right.
And I've had in the 3 classes something that they keep asking you, can we have more time? Can we have more time? Can you give us more time? Can you give us more training?
Yes.
But
80 hours.
is the written test, is it a time test? Is it 1 hour?
No,
it's not a time test.
it's
No,
not
it's not a time test like the ones
writing
you're used to.
writing the answers.
No,
No,
it's
time.
Oh, okay.
No.
And another thing, we're very protective of the test because we definitely don't want the test to be out
To
there.
go there, right.
So, yes, we're very protective of the test and the hands-on. I think that the thing that scares them the most is the written part because they know that the hands-on, they get it. But when I say hands-on, they have to do a cable with 2 connectors or 1 connector on each end. And this cable has to be tested. And depending on what the type of connector is the last that they are allowed. So we've had this last class, we had a couple of students that couldn't hit the mark, and it's very frustrating for them. So you have to let them know that they need to take a break and come back and rethink what they're doing wrong. And finally, they got it, but I mean, they need to test the cable, and the cable needs to pass. It's not just about doing the connector. It's about passing that. And the same thing with the fusion splice. You have to test that splice.
Okay.
So our students, now get into their little competitions, to see who's got the less loss. And when I say less loss, is when your cable doesn't have loss, the light comes through very clean, very fast, with no interruptions. Loss means interruptions in the system. So that's
very simple, okay.
Very simple, yeah. That's the way they explain it to me.
Okay.
That's when you get your buffering,
Okay.
Exactly.
The more loss that you have, the more buffering that you will get.
Yes.
It's a good way to put that, Hannah.
Very simple. Very simple. Without getting technical.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not the technical person. I deal with the other aspects of the program, but that's my technical person.
So on average, how much this course costs?
Well, it's not that expensive. I don't want to go into amount because I know I'm gonna scare people.
Okay.
So it's not very expensive considering the return.
Okay.
Let me put it like that: the return on your investment will be much greater.
It'll be money well spent.
It definitely
money well spent.
It will be money well spent. Especially nowadays. I mean, I really want to see the technicians form right now because I know the jobs are coming. And we are also lobbying with the administration, with the past administration, and now with this new administration to make sure that it is our people that are getting those jobs.
Right.
Because we all know, the companies are coming. They like to bring their people. Sometimes the people that they bring, they're not the most qualified person, and we have a lot of talent in the islands, and it is just the right thing to do. We're not saying that we're not welcoming people from outside.
Right.
I'm definitely from the outside. I came here. I fell in love with the islands, and what the island for me represents the place where I want to die. Not just live, but this is where I want to die.
Okay.
Because I'm so in love with the island, but at the same time, because I see the problems that we're going through as a community, I saw that we needed to do something. And I kept saying, if we don't do it, who will do it?
Who will do it?
Because obviously, nobody is willing to train the people so they can get the job. But it's not just the training; it's also the lobbying. It's also, having to be out there lobbying for our people to get those jobs. So, and one of the most important things that we're trying to get our message across is that we are a local company. We are all locals, even though I came from the outside. I've been here for the last 21 years. My children were raised here. I had one that was born here. My children went public school. They graduated Pearl B. Larson. They graduated Elena Christian. They graduated Complex. So I'm one of, I consider myself one of the local people.
You're homegrown
By
girl.
now, you know.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's important to know and do something for our community now that we're in trouble, or else, you know, this place is gonna be abandoned. Everybody's leaving because they're looking for better opportunities. Now with this program, you know, you can the need in the States is very big for fiber optic technicians.
Right.
We have some of the bigger communication companies hiring, and like Mr. Torres said, you know, signing bonuses because their need is so great. And we were also in talks. We've been in talks with one of those big conglomerates to try to place some of our people with them too. So I mean, it's not just the training, it's not just the installation, it's everything that happens behind the scenes to try to, you know, make sure that our people are taken care of.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to ask you too, and I'm not sure if you went over this or not, but there's many applications for fiber optics.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and so I mean, we talk about just the communications part of it, but you know, you mentioned like medical. There's medical applications.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about some of those as well?
Well, I will mention some, but I do want Mr. Torres to talk a little bit more about that.
There's the medical, like you said. There's the robotics.
Okay.
Right now, most of the vehicles right now, the new vehicles are using fiber optics. Actually, they're using not the one that's made with the glass, but the plastic optic fiber, PUF. Most of these vehicles are coming with that. Right now, we're watching what's the word? The green energy now that's coming, the solar panels.
Right.
Guess what? That needs fiber optic too, fiber optic connections. So the need for fiber optics is out there. I mean, the applications, I mean, for right now, what's going on in the territory and worldwide, I mean, everything is revolving around fiber optics.
Okay.
So
the medical field, we have a lot of instruments that are used, like in the refinery for WAPA, they're connected with fiber optics.
Okay.
So, I mean, the need for technicians will be out there. There's planes are also using
fiber optics, yes.
Okay.
The medical field, well, you know, they've been using lasers for a while.
For a long time, yeah.
Now they're coming up with all these sort of things. You know, I'm trying to post as much information as we can on our Facebook page, or our Twitter page, and our webpage on all the applications that fiber optics has. But you know, the more technology gets into our lives, the more applications that they're gonna come up.
Right.
There's going to be a use for the fiber optics.
Yeah.
Well, right now there is a use for technology people. You know, IT people. You know, how many companies use servers, and how many companies need good IT people. So I mean, for technology people is out there.
Okay.
Fiber optics is just one piece of it.
Okay.
So like you were saying, Anna, like you have these companies. Do you do job placement outside of the territory?
We're trying. We've been in talks with this conglomerate. And the other piece of the puzzle is also, you know, we need the technicians to be able to travel. And right now we have one that has done the assessments and everything, and is just waiting for word to go.
Okay.
But the whole point is not for them to leave.
Right.
It's for them to stay
here. Right.
Because the few people that are still here, we don't want to leave. We want to stay
That's
here.
right.
So we also need to create our own opportunities. And with this training also, there's the opportunity of starting your own business.
Okay.
Entrepreneurship. And actually one of our graduates, that's exactly the route that he's taking, you know, in becoming self-employed.
Okay.
So as a starting his own like fiber optics company or repair service kind
Repair
of thing?
service,
Yes.
maintenance repair.
Okay. Okay.
How many maintenance repair companies there are here in the territory for fiber optics?
Well, there is a few because
Is
the
it?
opportunities are here. You know,
Okay,
companies
okay.
do move where the opportunities are.
Right.
So there is a few, and there's a few more that want to start going into this field.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So it's a growing field, basically.
it is because the opportunities are here.
Okay.
Right now with the new infrastructure, of course, you know, sometimes we kind of tend to want everything to happen
Right away.
right away, and it really doesn't happen
That's
like
right,
that. You know,
that's right.
there's processes for everything, and everything has to be, you know, put into place before, you know, the actual jobs are there, but the jobs are coming.
They're coming, yeah.
My worry is that when they come, they're gonna come strong, and if we're not prepared, we're just gonna lose
out.
And by the time, you know, we see that the jobs are there, they're gonna be filled, and then we're gonna start training and investing in ourselves to get one of those jobs. However, those jobs have
Maybe
already
been
been
filled,
taken,
yes.
and unfortunately, you know, we're having an unemployment problem all across the nation. So also people from outside are looking for employment, and they're not gonna be willing to let go so easy.
Right.
Yeah.
To give these companies the excuse to say, oh, I need 10 technicians yesterday. And then that's going to be their green light to keep importing, keep
Right.
outsourcing these jobs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
As much as I want to, the fastest we can do the training is 80 hours.
The fastest.
You know,
That's the fastest.
That's
you
the
do not want to
To
rush,
rush
it,
it, yes.
because then you will not get a good,
Be
well-rounded
well-
technician.
Yes.
You know, so that's been our what's the word I'm looking for? Like our cry out. Let's train now. Now is the time to train, not when the jobs
Come, yeah.
When the
right.
jobs come, it's gonna be too late.
It's too late, yeah.
Opportunity best
That's
with
it.
those who are prepared.
That's it.
You know.
So I want to just touch a quick little bit in reference to when people call and ask for price and stuff like that. I want them to do a little research, because you know some people get scared, you know, when they hear, but they got to understand that if you were getting these 3 courses in the States, you would have been paying more, because every course has a different
Yes,
price.
price, yes.
So it's 301, and on top of that, I know, David, you in the IT, I know you have read a lot of books where it's like instead of being 90% or 100% of the subject matter, it end up being probably 20% of the actual subject, and the other 80-70 is history
Yeah.
and origin
Yeah.
and stuff that really a technician don't need.
Need to do. Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So in this manual, I took all of that out.
Okay.
You go straight in.
To
The
the
whole
meat.
manual is everything the technician is going to need in the field. He can even carry that manual as a quick reference book.
Yes.
Oh, really?
It serves
Okay.
him. Yeah.
Okay.
All of that was designed from the beginning.
Okay.
You know, I started seeing all these different books and manuals.
One ticket.
Yeah.
I said, I don't need anybody to know anything about me. I just
Okay.
need them to know fiber optics.
Okay. Luis, hold that thought, okay? Just hold that thought for 1 second. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We are back. This is the HR Perspective Talk Show. It's Thursday, January 15, 2015.
Martin Luther King birthday.
That's right.
Yep.
Big ups to happy birthday, MLK. Rest in peace, you know. 9:25, our guests tonight, Anna Foster and Luis Torres. They're here talking about their company, Netwave Unlimited Services, LLC, talking about fiber optics. So anything that you guys maybe we didn't ask, maybe you want to say to sort of bring it all together? Would anything, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, I forgot one thing.
Okay.
One main thing that makes Netwave Unlimited Services LLC different to any company right now.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And it's that we can teach this course in Spanish.
What?
Yes.
What?
So I
that is a great plus.
I apologize.
That-
I should have mentioned this from the beginning.
Yes.
And this is, you know, we have that language barrier,
Right.
and a person doesn't need to know, you know, have English fully.
Right, right.
Because when he comes in the course and he graduates, he's going to be able to work next to a person, an English speaking person
Yes.
that don't speak Spanish.
That's right.
Why? Because they are trained on the same.
Same.
So they will know the procedures.
Powerful.
Exactly. So
Yes.
that was one main thing I forgot. That's something that we purposely did.
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
Have you done that? I mean,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We have had Hispanics
okay.
students, and sometimes they have a little problem. So then I break it down
Break
to them
it
in
down to them
Spanish.
in
Okay.
Spanish, Yes.
That our approach. So
Yes.
that makes us very, very different. And makes us very effective.
That's
Although I do want them to learn to know the item in English,
Right.
which they learn it, but now the reason and the procedures and the use of the equipment or tool, they know it in Spanish, so they know it.
Yes.
So I mean, isn't some like terms the same whether it's English and Spanish, or there's a Spanish translation for some?
Well, yeah, you
Yeah,
have
you
to
have to
translate it.
translate it in
Yeah,
Spanish.
translated the term. Yeah,
It's a language. It's
Uh,
a language,
but when they put them two together, they're
It'll be the
gonna
same
know what to do.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Any final words about the company? Any besides the
Website,
tra-
webpage,
Yes,
where they
absolutely.
could reach you
I
at.
invite everybody to go on our webpage is netwaveunlimited.com, and you can log into our Facebook page from there and Twitter. And please, if you have any more questions, just shoot us an email, and we will do our best to answer you as quickly as possible.
Just to emphasize, and please, I encourage everybody, do your research. It's nothing but go on a search engine, type in fiber optics training, and you're gonna see the different trainings there. Remember, Netwave offers termination, network design, and fusion splicing.
The 3-in-1.
3-in-1.
Okay.
So just bear that in mind, and I encourage you. It's for your future.
Okay.
Invest in your future.
Right.
Can I ask you? Do you have any students coming coming here for training?
Not as yet.
No,
Okay,
not-
so
not
just
yet,
all
not
pretty
yet.
much
No,
just local.
I'm thinking back because I know we got two
We
that are
got two from the States, but they were actually here
right.
working.
Okay.
And but they left after their
The
training
job is-
and their contract
right.
ended.
Okay.
They left. But no, we have not gotten anybody from away yet. We are moving into other type of I'm not gonna say trainings, but well, I can talk about that either. Sorry. It's something that
It's in the works. It's in the works. It's in the works. Okay.
And hopefully it will come to fruition. And,
Yes.
and like I said, we've had the support from the last administration, and we are starting to work with this new administration. Luckily, we had some of the people that from the last administration stayed, so we already have that support. So we are working close with them to make sure that our Virgin Islands is taken care of.
Okay.
And
Wanna-
again, our address is www.netwaveunlimited.com, and we are the wave of your future.
Cut.
Virgin Islands future, eh?
Yes.
Hey, man, good, man. Well, we want to thank you guys for coming into the studio tonight and spending a little bit of time with us to give us some insight about what Netwave Unlimited Services does. Sound like you guys are producing some real good
Text, yes.
especially with the customer service, man.
That's the key component of
yeah,
any
that's the
business.
key component, man. That's just
Yeah.
the key component, and being on time and maybe saying please and thank you and those kind of things just goes a million miles for me. Maybe you didn't get the thing working today, but at least you said you followed up, and it just helps. It just helps, man. And across the board too, in all customer service job, not just in what they're doing, but just at the restaurants and when you go to the local stores or
Government
wherever,
offices.
wherever. It's just the customer service is key, man. It's just key, It's just key, man. So, but real quick, this is the It's Your Perspective talk show, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until. My name is David, a.k.a. Kimba, a.k.a. Christian, alongside
Soup.
Yeah, that's it right there, man. I just want to give a mad shout out to. Actually, what I'd like to say too is that we have our videos, our recorded live video shows on YouTube and Ustream.tv. just go to youtube.com or ustream.tv, and when you get on those websites, just search for the It's Your Perspective Talk Show. That's the name of our channel. And we have about 90, we're almost at 100 now, Soup, on YouTube.
Okay.
And then we have about 8 to 10 on Ustream, and that's by design. But you can go to either one, and you can see many shows that we've done. They're all there. And, you know, and as I like to say, we're booked up in January. I already got people lined up for February already. And so that's our show's missing, just to bring guests that want to come on and talk about their business. Maybe they're doing something positive for the community. If you got something to say and you want to come on the camera, just come on the camera, man. All you got to do is give me a call. And what makes it official is your name going on the schedule. If you're not on the schedule, then, hey, we can't really much help you there. But once again, man, Soup, you got any final words, man?
I want to thank Anna and Louis for coming in. Thank you very much. And I also want to big up Neb Kara from Per for coming in last night on the show.
Yes.
Y'all have a blessed and wonderful weekend.
And you guys are family. We always gotta say you guys are family now. You've been to our studio, so you're family now.
So don't be shy. You know what I mean?
Thank you guys for having us today. I know we've been talking for a while, David. And finally, we made it.
Yes.
But I want to thank you, both of you, for being patient with us.
Okay.
Too.
No problem.
And again, you know, it's very intimidating.
And you were not nervous, and you did well.
Well, we survived.
You did well.
Yeah. All right, Soup, any final words, man?
Rastafari lives, one perfect love.
Yeah, man, we like to say one perfect love is our prayers and his blessings, and when you put it all together, you get one perfect love, man. So on that note, we're actually off, Soup, for the next 4 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No, actually, no. I tell a Fupar that we're actually doing a show on Sunday. And stay tuned to Facebook. We have a special young lady coming in here. She wrote a book. And we're doing our first Sunday show just for her.
Yes.
And it's guaranteed to be a whole lot of fun and excitement. But stay tuned to Facebook for the postings on that. But on that note, man, we're out. Peace.